Good afternoon, May the 18th, 2015. We came in today basically seeing resistance at 2120 to 2125. That was our sell zone. And we wanted to buy the 2510 to 12, and you couldn't get in on that trade unless you got in really early. So you were buying the 15 to 17 area. And we took a trade long here live, and the trade failed to make a new high, so we ducked that trade. Then we just got a very slow rotation up. The market makes a new high, then dies, then makes a new high, then dies. So we talked about several times today that the trade was to buy the opening and disappear till the close. Don't have a lot to work with. These volumes, we're not bringing in the right kind of players. The market is moving higher. I mean, it's a fairly easy read when you go to the F2 screen, but for a day trader that counts on back and forth moves and volatility, it's a different market. In fact, it's starting to look more and more like a responsive market where you buy into weakness, like this retest failure right here, this retest failure right there. This retest failure right here, right in here. It's just slowly moving up. So we're going to finish today with a new contract high that we talked about really over the last 4 weeks that it was within reach. We made another new high on this move. I anticipate we'll hold it. I don't know what kind of news it would take to change things. Don't see anything that really could. So there you have it. Support is at 15, and now it'll be at 23. This high right there, and the market should close strong. So this screen has us a buyer. The F1 screen does. Looking at the F2, it will confirm it also. Get more data on the screen this way. And that's the split that we've had, and you could really come in here and make an I split now too for 3 distributions higher, which probably gives you a much clearer picture of where support and resistance are. So we have this new move started at 23. Last rotate down was just above 24, and we're still making new highs. So wherever the high ends up to be, Laramie told us this morning we're headed for 2130. We're within reach. So our sell zone is going to be 30 to 35. Sell failure to take out and hold. And I imagine we'll see pretty strong buying in Asia and in Europe because we've made new contract highs here. On the buy side, the aggressive buy would be this 22 to 24, buy 1. And then our 15 to 17 for buy 2. Strong market, low volume, no intraday volatility, no positive news today. So we don't have to know why, we don't have to know who, we can just see that they are and we join them. It's pretty easy, and we've talked about that several times today. We talked about this morning on the financials that probably the given the lack of news, the direction of the E-mini would probably tell the tale of the tape, and that if the E-mini traded higher, I would anticipate financials would trade lower, and that's pretty much what happened. So lower high, lower low. The S1 screen says we're headed lower. Tomorrow we got housing starts and permits. Again, I don't think people will pay a lot of attention to that, but that is some news. The worse the news is, the better it is for the E-mini, the more likely the Fed will not raise interest rates anytime soon. And that's going to put a floor in the financials too. They'll sell, but they can't go too low because interest rates are at 0.25%. But this F1 screen says we're sellers. The F2 screen, the Oh, 16 to 20 is where resistance is. That last rotate up stopped at 19.5, so selling failure to take out 16 to 20. And again, the market is selling. It's pretty easy to see. And leaning against this two-letter ledge, leaning against the top of value will be sell 2. On the buy side, we've got all this volume down here at 9, so 5 to 9, let them get stops a little bit lower. Then 29 to 01. And the market's clearly a sell first to test support, and if that holds up, then we can try the long side. Okay, the knob spread came in about 20-30 seconds today. To me, it is the best directional indicator going. I mean, bar none. And the reason for that is it's the capital flow. And if they're buying bonds and selling notes, pretty bullish take fundamentally on for that short moment in time, and the converse is true the other way. So here we are. You can see we don't have a lot of volume down here. We're kind of in new territory. So we've got our tractor up at 54.10. Last rotate up stopped at 29. We're at 17 right now. The L period high is at 25. So 23.27, sell 1. And then this spill from 04, 3 to 7, sell 2. Buy side a little bit lower. 5 to 9 in Globex, buy 1, and then 29 to 01, buy 2. And we don't have any trouble getting to our buy 1s, our buy 2s and sell 2s. Okay, we're at 28.50. Yeah, what is that? 6 ticks away from Laramie's 21.30. Pretty good call, Laramie. And you'll find the synergy that we get from the room and the different set of eyes. Guys will focus on different markets a little differently, and it really can help keep everybody on the right side of the market and pointed in the right direction. Okay, looking at gold. The cleanest breaks up here in this 45.50 area, and I mean, the more you read about what's going on everywhere in the United States. In fact, the only thing that has really made sense policy-wise in the rest of this was taking down, it looks like upwards of 5 motorcycle gangs in Texas, and they had the audacity to start killing each other. But these motorcycle gangs out there, and they get after each other, they don't screw around, and they are not from the soft, gentle side of nature. And such a big deal that Twin Peaks has canceled the franchise of that owner down there, so he's probably lost a good portion of his business over this. So here we are in gold, higher low, higher high. We're a buyer. And those poor bikers down there, they probably won't have anybody up taking their cause or up or howling over their civil rights violations or anything else like that. They just are not favored politically. Life's not fair, you know it? Okay, if we put all this together, it's a very, very strong P, but there is a seller where we had it this morning. So selling the 30 area plus or minus, sell 1. Then our 35 area plus or minus, sell 2. We got these low volume numbers 35 to 36. They got a pretty good chance of holding the market. On the buy side, we had a 20 to 22 this morning. I don't see any reason to change that. We just touched it in B period, then our 15 to 17. So we're going to leave our numbers the same in gold. And if someone put a gun to Laramie's head, he'd have to buy it based on the structure and which way it's moving. I know Laramie's going to lobby hard to see if his spouse would have to buy it. Not him, but that's what I do when I get in those pickles. Well, I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I bet my spouse's life on it. Naturally, I don't do that with an earshot. Would have its consequences. Unpleasant consequences, by the way. And looking at crude oil, crude oil got tagged today. But when it was all said and done, we still have a higher low and a higher high. So leaning against near resistance, which is going to be in this 60, 75, 61 area, is a good trade. But if we don't quickly crack it and take out 59.50, we don't want to be on the short side. There's too much stuff going on. I mean, Ramadi falling, it just, I lived through that from Vietnam, and if you ask a lot of Vietnam vets that went over there and came back and what they felt about the whole deal was betrayal. And I'm sure that a lot of the kids that went over and fought in what was not supposed to be a bad war probably feel the same way. And you get in there and you lay it all out and you put it on the line, and then on a whim or a change of mind or change of direction, there's no follow through, and a lot of good guys die. In fact, your best die early because they're the ones that pick the ball up and run with it. They're the ones that stick their neck out. Okay, support in the 60 area. Tomorrow's the day before contract expiration come Wednesday. We got a buyer at 60. We got a seller at 61. So sell one's going to be 75 to the buck. And in sell two, we're going to pick up this 50 area. If we get through the buck, we got a pretty good chance of making back up to 61.50. On the buy side, the 60 area, give or take, maybe as high as a quarter. Pick up this area right here for buy structurally, and then now we're down to our 59.50. This area right in here. And the euro. Euro got tagged pretty good today. We've had bigger days, but it's a I just don't think that the European planners see a higher euro in their future. They're going to do everything they can to take it lower. So got a lower high and a lower low. Right now it looks like June the 5th is the next drop dead date for Greece. And I'm sure when June the 5th rolls around, they might find another way to get around it or push it into July. But these are very, very difficult decisions. And somebody's got to start paying for it. And, of course, no one wants to. So if they can push the can down the road, maybe the economies will recover enough to bail them out. And so I think that's the hope of all central banks, is that that's where we are. So 1300 will be pretty good support. This is a sell screen, sell structure. So we have this spill, and our initial resistance is going to be in this quarter to as high as perhaps 41. So 30 to 40 will make that our first sell zone. Might not get to a quarter, might be 25 to 35, but getting stops above 25 I think is doable. And then the selling started at 75 and the last rotate up was 57, so we'll make a 50 to 60 sell 2. On the buy side, 1300. And then our 1275. And that's all I wrote this May the 18th. You all have a great evening, and I'll see you bright and early in the AM. We had very, very slow days today in gold and the E-mini, and pretty clear calls for lower in crude oil, the bond, the 10-year, and the euro until it reached support. So the E-mini continues to be the least volatile market we're trading in now. Who would have thunk that was even possible?